Hey everybody, so you just heard a part of the Avengers theme song in the new Marvel Comic Ensemble film. So the Avengers, you guys, is the final opportunity for Marvel. They finally got Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and the Incredible Hulk all ready to go for this huge movie. In this movie, you guys, if you saw Thor, you would know that Loki didn't officially die. He got sent to a portal, and that caused the beginning events of Avengers, where Shield, the organization formed by Nick Fury, he's he made this new device. There's this new form of technology with his organization, and they make this machine where it can take any creature or human from a different world and bring it to that exact spot where you transport them. And it just so happened to transport Loki back to Earth. As soon as Loki got back to Earth, he hypnotized some people right away and was able to quickly start his whole world domination thing, since he still doesn't quite know if he's a good or a bad guy yet, based on his history that he learned from Odin, from Thor. With this all being said, Nick Fury and his S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and people who work for S.H.I.E.L.D. Want the Avengers initiative to go back into place. And they assemble Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk together again for the first time, and they want to make sure that they can get rid of Loki once and for all without having the army and all that stuff um, go to waste, because they're not going to be enough to stop Loki from taking over the world. Um, so it's pretty much self-explanatory at this point. They have to get the Avengers together, and they got to prevent Loki's plan of world domination. And also, they got to get back this artifact that he wants, that you saw from Captain America. The Tesseract is what I think it was called. Um, so he not only does Loki want to take over the world, but he wants to have that artifact back. So taking over the world is easier for him, and he can get it back to Asgard if he ever returns there. Um, so I'm going to go over the positives and negatives for this film, you guys. I liked how Josh Whedon really took the was able to take the Avengers and give them good and bad aspects. I liked how there was a rise and a fall for the team. There was moments where they found out strategies that make them work well as a team, and they also run into conflicts along the way that when they realize that working as a team isn't exactly as easy as they thought it would be. Also, you guys, I think this film did a really good job of making sure that Captain America and the Incredible Hulk were better characters. Because to tell you the truth, I wasn't too huge on the Incredible Hulk and Captain America: First Avenger. And I think this film is a nice makeup opportunity for Marvel to kind of make up that ground that they made a mistake with. Um, I just really, as far as characterization goes, there really wasn't a lot to him in the first two Hulk films, and there wasn't a lot of characterization in Captain America as far as his character went. I thought Josh Whedon took the opportunities on the moments where Captain America and the Hulk were meant to shine in this film, and give us these two characters and expand on them, so we could further understand them, get more interested in them, and give them more characteristics, so we can connect with them more, just like we could with Iron Man and Thor, who I believe were better characters due to their characterizations from their movies, since, well, they were better films overall. The action scenes and the special effects, you guys, are breathtaking in this film. It's really unbelievable to see what Josh Whedon can do as far as special effects and action scenes go. All the creatures that Loki recruited for the film were really cool to look at. I really like the special effects. I like that huge dragon thing that goes after Iron Man in the trailer. He makes a pretty big appearance in this movie as this giant creature that they have to face off against. Um, I have to give Tony Stark credit again. I mean, I love Robert Downey Jr. in this role. I think his role as Tony Stark is just absolutely hilarious, and when he has to get called into action, he's always awesome to watch when he's called into action, have to fighting off people and everything. Loki is as menacing as always. It was just great to see Tom Hiddleston back again to take on the role as Loki and in a way almost expand on him. Um, so everything you saw about Loki and Thor is either improved upon or the same, whether you view that as a good or bad thing. And so Loki shouldn't disappoint with this film. He's a very good villain. As far as the negatives, guys, some people complained that Black Widow and Hawkeye didn't have enough screen time in this movie. I agree with this, and I also disagree with this. And what I mean by that is, I would say Black Widow, as far as that point of that problem in the film went for me, I would say that Hawkeye's screen time is a little worse than Black Widow's because with Black Widow, all they really had to do with her was at the beginning of the film recruit the Incredible Hulk like she did, um, help out the team like she did. So I guess as far as expecting what Black Widow's role in the film would be, all of that seems successful. But why I would complain about Hawkeye is I don't want to give away what happens to him early on in the film. But there's something that early on that happens to him in the film that causes him not to be a part of the Avengers until the final battle of the movie. Um, and to me, Hawkeye really was underused in this film, and I really wish they could have done something more with him so he could have been more a part of this Avengers, and that you really got the interpretation that he was really a part of this team. And to me, they just really didn't strike the ball with that. They need to work on that. The film never quite explains how Thor got back to Earth, and I was really hoping Josh Whedon was going to get into that. Um, Loki briefly talks about it in one scene when Thor comes back, and it's just that's just not enough for me. I need to know how he got back, rather than saying, oh, this person in Asgard whipped up this magic and brought him back to Earth. I need more than that. I need to know how he got there, why he got there. Is the Bifrost somewhat done, and whatever was done of it, he could get back to Earth? I mean, I need to know more than that. The film did not explain enough of that. Um, there was also some really corny moments in this film that you guys too, like there's a scene where Tony Stark's falling out a window, and he uses this technology that we never saw before in either of the Iron Man films. We did see a briefcase that he had, but he was at least on the ground for that. But he tapped this button on his hand, and then all of a sudden he became Iron Man. I'm like, that is just no. So that technology seemed like a giant cheat for me. So I really wish Josh Whedon managed to get him in the Iron Man suit. Maybe he landed on something softly and then turned into Iron Man. They could have done something like that. It just really struck me as corny when I watched that scene. Um, some of the fighting physics in this film felt a little off too. There's a scene where Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man are fighting each other, and Thor hits Captain America's shield. And when you first see that, you're like, oh wow, he's gonna really kill Captain America with that. But it turns out there's not a single scratch on the shield, and to me, that just really strikes as really unrealistic. Because if you think about it, Thor is a thunder god, and because he's a god and Captain America is not, that shield would at least be damaged in some sense. And that really struck me as really corny when that scene happened. So I really wish stuff like that would have been more accurate with the film. Another thing to note about the film, you guys, is that there's actually two clips at the end of the film rather than just one. There's one right away at the beginning after it says directed by Josh Whedon, and there's one right at the very end after the whole credits are done with. That one's more of a joke, the second one, so it has nothing to do with the later Avengers films. But the one the one that they show you first does deal with something we'll see in either Thor 2 or Iron Man 3 or Avengers 2 or Captain America 2 or Hulk 2. We know that what they show at the end of that first clip has something to do with one of the later Avengers films. But I love this film, you guys. I actually give it a 9.5 out of 10. As much as those bad things I listed off seemed like really harsh, I really did enjoy the film. Those are just kind of my little quibbles I had about things that the film could have improved upon. But overall, guys, Avengers is an excellent film. Make sure you see it if you haven't seen it yet. It was actually a full house show when I saw it with a group of friends. So see Avengers, guys. It's an excellent film. I would actually rank it up there with Dark Knight and Iron Man. It's one of my all-time favorite superhero films. So it's probably the third best superhero film I've ever seen. So make sure you see Avengers, guys. It's an excellent film.